We're all owned by the syndicate, body and soul. Or should I just say body?
Hello, filthy movie lovers, something weirdos, and anti-criterion bros, to the 44th episode of The Sin Syndicate, where a shanty town makes for a bad honeymoon, and the Lord both giveth and taketh away. My name is Gentry Austin, writer and researcher, and I'm here with my co-host, adult film historian Casey Scott. And in this week's episode, we are heading south for a mixed-up tale involving jewel robbery, bootlegging, and murder by pitchfork. We're going to be looking at a film that has gone by many names, gone through several hands, and had a multitude of re-releases. So depending on your point of entry, either something weird or trauma video, you may know it as Honey Britches or Demented Death Farm Massacre.
Introducing Harlan Craven, the most debonair, romantic leading man to hit the silver screen in decades. He's dashing, he's dreamy, he's delightfully dramatic, but he's demented. And he's the star of Demented Death Farm Massacre, the movie. Harlan loved his young, delectable wife. And so did all the neighbors. Then one day they were all consumed by the Demented Death Farm Massacre. Demented Death Farm Massacre is a film so full of action.
You stupid bitch!
Blood-curdling.
Good God, she's dead!
So ultra-violent that only a master of horror and suspense like John Carradine could do it justice.
I am the judge of hell.
So race to see Demented Death Farm Massacre.
So joining us this week to discuss this Donn Davison directed Southern Fried Hick flick is friend of the pod, our favorite third wheel, Mr. Alex DeSanto, who has been doing some deep research into this regional oddity, specifically its mysterious, hard-to-miss Amazonian star, the DeSanto described Titanic testament to womanhood's totality, Miss Pepper Thurston. But before we hit the jug, let's take a look at some news and updates from the world of sexploitation. Let's start with Ultimate Degenerate, Thousand Pleasures again. Anything else to promote here, Casey asks. I'm not sure. I think they're hitting people's mailboxes right about now. I haven't heard any feedback really beside about our piece, Mr. DeSanto, other than, just 10 minutes ago, Nathan Schiff just said, great piece. He didn't really say anything else. He's just like, great piece on Uda.
John Charles liked it.
Good to know. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, everyone's getting their copies, and I don't know when we're getting ours. So
I was waiting for that.
Yeah, don't know when that's happening. Yeah. I was in a mood this morning about that. But it's not, it's not, and I will say this, this is not a specific thing for one company or one person. I feel like this is an industry-wide thing. And I feel like at this late stage in the game, every boutique label should have an established system for contributor copies to contributors to their releases. And maybe unpopular opinion, when your inventory shows up, that first box, the first stuff that gets put in the mail, goes to the people whose names are on that release. That is that. Everyone should be getting releases before any of your customers receive those. It's very disheartening to see people talk about your work and you are not able to take it in yourself or see how it was presented in the finished product. And this is not specific to just one company. I've said that. This is not just about this release. We've had to beg for other releases from other companies. Yeah, I will name and name. The one person we've never had to beg for anything, Tiernan O'Rourke at AGFA, was always is proactive and didn't just send us one copy of stuff. He sent us multiple copies of stuff.
Yeah.
So
we
Tiernan,
can promote it and give it away.
Exactly. Yeah. Just thank you so much, Tiernan, for that. Nobody should be put in a position of having to beg for these things, but also I will say no one should feel like they're going to quote unquote lose gigs by being too persistent or saying anything about this publicly that they're not receiving copies of stuff they contributed to. I feel like I can say it because just like the fact that these are supplements, this is supplemental income for me, or in some cases, not income, because in some situations I don't charge money. So if the gigs dry up because I'm saying this, doesn't matter. That's fine. But I know I'm not the only person who feels this way. I've talked to literally every person that I know who does supplements who have this problem with multiple different companies across the board. So I would love everyone to get this fixed and situated, please. Like it should not be that difficult to do. The first box that comes in, that's for your contributors.
And it should just be more clear that you're even going to get one. I know Chris, who contributed to the Kino release, he went out and just bought it himself because he didn't know that they were going to send him or not. So,
which is crazy.
Yeah,
no, that's
happening.
Yeah.
It should never be happening. Yeah. So it's a thing. And I know that there are extenuating circumstances in certain situations, and I can be as understanding of that as possible. I'm not even upset about it for me, to be honest, because to be frank, I am years behind in contributor copies. Like there's stuff that I haven't requested that I worked on years ago that I still haven't gotten copies for. And I take the blame for that because I know that I should be asking for those things. But I'm more upset about it because when we invite people to come be on these releases and then they are now chasing me. So I'm getting like messages from multiple people asking, can you follow up? Can you follow up? It's not a good look for me or the person that is supposed to be in charge of this. So it's not good. Again, this is not one company. I'm making this very, very clear, abundantly clear. This is not one company or one person I'm talking about. This is an industry-wide thing. So I don't know what's going on. I know there's a lot of moving parts at all these different boutique labels. One of those moving parts should have this like locked down and very clear at this point. It's 2026 and boutique labels have been a thing since the late 90s. Like, guys, since the DVD era, this is not hard.
What was that release that Sam Deegan posted about a while back where she's like, I finally got my contributor copies and they sent
I wasn't going to bring that up, but one of the usual suspects. That took months for her to get. And that's literally insane.
Yeah. And Sam is
literally
very
insane.
Diplomatic about this. She's very careful not to ruffle feathers, I feel like, publicly at least.
Is. Yeah, I'm not as careful just because, like I said, I do this for fun.
Not on the payroll, yeah.
Not on the payroll. I do this for fun. I do it to help document the history and make these releases better because that's what I want to do. I want it to be something that I would want on my shelf. So yeah, no, this is not any kind of like subtle read or any vague, there's no vagary about this. This is everybody. This is every company. Every company has this problem. Mm-hmm. So can we get this under control, please? This is something I would probably be saying if we were on like Ryan's Disconnected show. That goes out and is heard by many more people. Yeah, I feel bad because it affects multiple people. I for me, could care less. I'm fine. Yeah. I'll eventually get it. I'm not worried about it. But like for people that are putting so much work into these contributions, these releases, and then it's one thing to see people talk about your contributions. It's another thing to have it in your hand and you can see it and it's tangible. Mm-hmm. And it's very different. So yeah, there's definitely a sense of pride that comes with it. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it should be a controversial take, and I don't think it should ruffle feathers of anybody at a boutique label. They know it's a problem and they need to fix it. I just don't think anyone's saying anything like this publicly to convince them to fix it.
Exactly.
Because
people are scared.
I think that's the thing. Yeah, people are scared. They don't want to. They don't want the work to dry up. I'm like, listen, if your work speaks for itself, you shouldn't be afraid of the work drying up. Yeah.
And hey, we're not perfect either because, we have done a bad job of promoting this
I
Sarno
know.
event tonight
Mhm.
that
I know.
Jeffrey is putting on, sponsoring, I should say, out at the Wind Gap, Pennsylvania. So we'll have to hear back from him, tomorrow and see how it went. He's doing
Yes.
Desire Under the Palms and Confessions of a Young American Housewife. So two
Right.
very different Sarnos.
Different eras. Yeah, very
Different
different
eras,
eras.
different locations. Yeah.
Different levels of talent in front of the screen too. Yes. But American Housewife, it has Chris Jordan and Mary Mendham and Jennifer Wells, and among others. So that's absolutely worth going to the theater for.
Alex, do you have anything to say about that pairing?
About the pairing? No. All I have to say is if sexploitation is playing your area, go support it. Just go support it, folks,
Yep.
so we can get more of this. We get more of this happening.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. And Jeffrey's doing giveaways too. He has like posters and stills, very rare things that he's giving away to like the first handful of people that come in and find him. So I think that's very cool. You can get a little piece of Sarno. I think that's
Camp
exciting.
out front, folks. Pitch a tent.
Yeah.
You might be after watching Confessions of a Young American Housewife.
That one, yes. Maybe not the other one, but right. Yeah.
I think it was Tim Lucas. Yeah, it said it's one of I agree, one of Sarno's hottest movies.
Yeah, you can't miss that one.
I think Jim Holiday said it was his choice for the hottest softcore film of the 70s. I still say it's All American Girl, but it's up there. Yeah, for sure.
Greek sexploitation. Tell us about these, Casey.
I had to rave just a little bit about this. I won't go off that long because I know we have a lot to talk about on the show. I will just say, do not sleep on Greek sexploitation. These are two sordid, sweaty, sleazy Greek sexploitation movies from the 60s that are very, very New York sexploitation coded. They are very they're very noir inspired. There's like a collection of criminals. There's like a really great femme fatale star. Lust in the Swamps is kind of like if you were shooting a New York noir sexploitation movie and set it in the Florida swamps. It's like a perfect mix of those two types of films. So I highly recommend that release. It's Lust in the Swamps and Secrets of Sinful Athens. And I think it's limited to like 1,000 copies or something. So yeah, so I think it's 1,000. So I would definitely recommend getting that before it sells out because I could not stop raving about that experience.
Yeah, you're not alone either. I've seen some good notices for that one.
I think Dakota and Chris like those too.
Yeah. What is this alternative cinema? They are a something weird video partner. I always forget to check their website to see what the hell they're up to because they're not the greatest about promoting themselves. But they've been doing these racy reels series of films, and they're doing a Barbara Mills double feature, Matinee Wives and The Executive's Wives, which are, I can't remember if I've seen Matinee Wives.
You haven't. I've told you to.
Oh, yeah, you told me to.
Because it's Barbara Mills.
Yeah, what's going on here? These are DVD only.
I don't know why that is. I only know about this release because Lisa posted about it, because Lisa is always really good about promoting the Something Weird tie-in titles. And so she promoted this. I forgot there were even 3 of these so far. This is Racy Reels Volume 4. So my only concern is that they're going to slap their fake copyright on the credits and maybe mess with stuff. Like, for example, Cries of Ecstasy, Blows of Death. They added new stuff to that, so I had to hold on to my DVD-R in addition to the Blu-ray. So I'm hoping they don't mess with these, please. Matinee Wives is terrific. It's great. It only exists from one print. And Executive's Wives is Barbara Mills and a few other people, which I actually have not seen Executive Wives, but it's Barbara Mills, and Matinee Wives alone is worth the purchase of that. So
another interesting release is La Marge by Radiance.
Yeah.
And I had the same question that you had in the notes here, Casey, which is, where's Jeremy Ritchie on this release?
I was really shocked, especially because we legitimately discussed the possibility of this Blu-ray happening on our episode with him.
And Jeremy was, had said explicitly, like, this is the one I'm looking forward to the most to get a release. So, yeah, when I saw that come out without him on it, I was honestly just a little bit disappointed for him.
I was too, especially because when you've literally written the book on the star of a film and you're left out of a project like that, that's like, arguably, I think it's probably her best performance. So there's a lot to talk about with that movie. I was very disappointed. Obviously, I love that Sam is involved, Sam Deegan, because Sam has a good track record on stuff. But I don't know why it's not one or the other. We could have gotten both, and it would have been an even better release, because then we would have had history and discussion from different angles on that. So I don't know what the deal is with Radiance. I actually don't even own a Radiance release yet, which, I need to pull the trigger on some of their stuff, but I'm just like, I don't know what they're thinking of not including the man who wrote the book on Sylvia Christel.
Massage Parlor Wife updates our last episode with Mark Murray. I was looking back at our notes and there's still a lot of stuff we didn't even cover, but that tends to be the case sometimes when we have guests that are enthusiastic and ourselves that have just so much to talk about with them. So, but that's kind of my way of saying, hey, go check out our show notes on the Patreon, which has all the stuff we didn't get into involving cast and crew. And I'll also say that I posted a little Q&A I had with Barry on our Patreon. He read it, I sent it to him, and he said, thanks, very generous, kind, and true. So, yeah, he appreciated a little shout out. I don't know what he was expecting because, when I was talking to him, I did mention that, we were working on a podcast. I might write something, and he kind of sent me a whole bunch of information about stuff he's been working on. Mm-hmm. And who knows, maybe I will write something larger or longer, but this was just a nice little couple paragraphs and a nice little Q&A about this movie, which clearly he's not super enthusiastic to talk about, but he provided some really good information. So I thought that was worth putting up on our Patreon.
If you want to know the truth, see Shantytown Honeymoon. See the strange and seamy side of mountain life, where they love by the rule of a shotgun.
Harlan's out for us, too. Come on, we got all afternoon.
Shantytown Honeymoon. Torn from the land of child brides and steam heat shanties, wild women, white lightning, and hard mountain myth. Shantytown Honeymoon. Their kind of kinship means anything goes, and the kind of love that doesn't wait on ceremony.
Anybody as good looking as you just gotta be itching for action.
Meet Reba Sue, a young girl sold into wedded slavery to pay her father's debts.
No, Daddy, please don't make me marry up with that smelly old man.
Shantytown Honeymoon. It still happens today. If you're old enough to be married, you must see it. If you're not old enough to be married, you cannot see it. Shantytown Honeymoon, new in color, admission restricted.
So, I think we did a good job getting through that in less than an hour.
Impressive.
Let's
we
talk.
don't need the crack of the whip from
Alex DeSanto.
from Sir DeSanto. We have a lot to learn from him. Oh,
you guys cannot see him because he is in overalls and plaid right now. So
yes, he's very in the
maybe
zone.
It wouldn't be the crack of the whip. It would be the switch. Do you have a switch on you?
Oh, sure.
Alex?
Get me a switch.
Oh, I just got to go to a tree and cut one down.
Yeah.
I'll be right back.
Or for this movie, maybe just a good old fashioned moonshine jug to the forehead.
Triple S.
Yeah. Or
Exactly.
Pitchfork.
Yeah, I got a pitchfork right here. Like,
damn! Oh, there it is. Yeah. Okay. Well, watch out.
Kidding.
That looks sharp.
That's a little bit.
Sharp.
You guys can't see it. It's a little red. It's a little devilish looking. I don't know if that's, or maybe it's just your lighting. Yeah,
it's red from blood. It's red from blood of his victims.
Yeah, that's not a Milligan pitchfork.
No.
So I guess maybe I'll read the synopsis on this one to start because I actually really like this synopsis. It kind of has a ring of Mike Vraney here. I'm not sure who wrote this.
It was written by Luther Heggs, which is a pseudonym for somebody. I don't know who. Yes. You had the trauma synopsis, and I trashed that because that's garbage. Yeah, we don't need to amplify trauma. They've had a rough week with their little AI advertisement on Instagram that got a certain distributor in trouble.
Did they?
Yes, they did. And we will. Yeah, God, I'm really full of shadiness today, I guess. All
right, so let me read the synopsis.
Pepper, the spirit of pepper in me.
Harlot, woman o' evil, you shall be punished for your whoring ways, screams big ol' Harlan to the sexy black hooker he's selling his moonshine to in the opening few minutes of Honey Britches, one of our favorite redneck movies from one of our favorite drive-in hucksters, ex-spook show magician Donn Davison. Shot in Alpharetta, Georgia, Honey Britches was Don's follow-up to his earlier Moonshiner's Woman from 1968. And though Honey Britches has a bigger budget and sports a much slicker technical polish, none of that gets in the way of the hillbilly bliss achieved by watching some of the dumbest characters on the face of the earth run around killing each other. After spouting biblical dribble to the above-mentioned hoe, Harlan returns to his wretched little clapboard cabin to find that Reba Sue, his just-bought bride of only 4 days, has house guests. Aggressive stud Kirk and his gal pal Karen, and British fop Philip and girlfriend Suzanne, a big-breasted giantess that steals every scene she's in. Claiming to have suffered car trouble, the quartet are actually jewel thieves, hauling a suitcase of stolen gems from New York to Florida, who hope to elude the police by hiding out with some stupid hillbillies. Alex Santo, this was kind of your this is your baby. Tell us about your history with this film.
I first saw this via the Trauma version. This was the first exploitation film I'd ever seen, actually. I think I saw it when I was like 12 or something like that. I got a hold of those. Yeah. This was one of those films that Brett would put out on one of those Toxie sets, Toxie's Triple Tear. And then another set, which had haunted me since I was even younger than that, seeing them at my local video store. So got a hold of those, saw this, though kind of knew what I was in for, because I always Google everything, being a child of the internet. And so I put this on, and I'm just going, no, what the fuck is this? No, what is this? What the hell is this weird hybrid ass thing with John Carradine and blah 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 blah? And even then, I think I was looking for the Honey Britches version, because I was like, there's something about this stupid little movie. It's so full of personality. It's so quaint. It's so tame for how it was marketed and everything like that. Though a lot of Donn Davis's movies are kind of like that as a whole. They're oddly tame. Every single one of them.
Like in the sexual department,
even in violence,
even the violence is tame.
Yeah. There's not a lot of any. Yeah, there's not a lot of either. There's just enough. And I can't really. Well, of course, Pepper Thurston. Actually, all the women are incredible in this. Almost all of them. Karen is just okay. She's there. Mm-hmm. She's being dumb. And I can't really explain why this grabbed me, other than why is this regional oddity a thing? Mm-hmm. Why does this exist? Why was this released under titles like Hillbilly Hooker and Little Whorehouse on the Prairie?
Yeah, well, we kind of know why. We'll probably get into the marketing later, but yeah.
Yeah, we will.
Could you tell right away, like, did you understand that the Carradine were inserts, those scenes?
Yes, because I'd already looked it up. And I could just also tell by, like, the hairstyles, like, just by the main film, that this was not a film from the mid to late 80s. It just couldn't have been.
Yeah.
And also, it was just so oddly cobbled together. Like, the music that was inserted
in the opening credits.
Yeah. And when they're walking the woods and things like that, like, it was just obvious that something was wrong with this film, that there's obviously both hands in it. And I mean, knowing Fred Olen Ray's output, this obviously wasn't made by Fred Olen Ray. I mean, the original film, like, you can just tell, why would Fred Olen Ray make something this tame? So on and so forth. So yeah.
What about you, Casey?
I think the first time I saw it was The Something Weird. I didn't see Demented Death Farm Massacre. I'd heard of it, and I had the the Toxie. I had the same release that Alex did because I think I bought all of those. I hadn't watched it because I read Michael Weldon's review of it that said it was terrible, and Michael Weldon's review said that it was from that earlier film. So when I saw that it was in the Something Weird catalog under a different title, I grabbed that first and watched that first, and I was like, oh, this is really good. And then I watched the Troma version, and I was like, ugh. The only good thing about the Troma version is that it looks cleaner and crisper because even if it's a video transfer, obviously they had a really nice element to be able to create that new version. Would love to know where that ended up because
I can explain
all
that
we have now is this 35 millimeter print.
That was a negative.
Well, then I don't know where it is, and so I doubt Troma still has it. Yeah.
Oh no, they did. It disintegrated under their care.
It's a shame.
No, you can't. That's completely unusable now. We just have this print
from a drive-in in Columbus, Ohio, I think.
Yep.
Yes, from the East Side Rainbow Drive-in of Columbus, Ohio, per the liner notes on the release.
Oh.
Yeah, so Death Farm is the best we'll ever see it in terms of its original color.
I kind of want to, either me or if someone else has the time to do it, do like an edit.
Yeah, create a hybrid of stuff if possible. Because I think there's a new soundtrack in that version, is there not? But I don't know if it's used over the actual Davison footage.
In some parts, it's not used over anything that has dialogue.
Right.
It's not used over like any dialogue scenes or anything like that. It's only in like one or two spots.
Okay. So a fan edit could be done.
Yeah.
I would love that. I mean, yeah, because I don't know. I definitely love this movie.
Yeah.
I know that's your next project after the Siege restoration, the Honey Britches restoration, what we have existing.
Would absolutely love that.
I know. I do love it though. I think it is, and I mean, from a very sorry collection of films, it is Davison's best movie. You know, it's not saying much, but I do love it because it is so Southern. It is so drive-in. It makes total sense that it really didn't. I don't think it really left a lot of Southern regional distribution. If it did, not well documented. I know Moonshiner's Woman did, but
I didn't really find this playing anywhere north of the country. Let's just say that. Yeah. There's like a certain dividing line between North and the South where this played and where this didn't. You're not about to see this on 42nd Street.
No. And then also you weren't going to see it out west in like California either, or Seattle or anything like that. So that's kind of like Moonshiner's Woman. The furthest west that I saw it get was New Mexico. And that was shocking to me too. I was like, how is this showing in New Mexico? Like in as late into the early 70s, Moonshiner's Woman, I was just like, this is really crazy. They must have been really hard up and they just had a print flying around because of this black and white piece of shit. But,
I mean, as we'll find out, Davison was not against playing these things to absolute death.
Oh yeah.
No. That's probably why there aren't that many prints remaining of a lot of this stuff. And in some cases, not at all, because it's just kind of running into the ground, literally.
Well, I mean, the South was sort of Don's bread and butter, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So it makes sense.
Dominated the South. I mean, he made enough money in the South anyway. Like, as it is. Like, he had the stick sewn up.
Police say they have no clue to the whereabouts of the jewel thieves. The report that a Jeep was stolen from in front of the Star truck stop by 2 men and 2 women yesterday has been confirmed. However, the Jeep has not been located. Fingerprints found on the crashed airplane have been sent to Washington for identification. On the local scene, Billy Joe Whitaker says she plans to try out for the Blue Ribbon in the Cake Bake-Off at the fair this year. You know, Billy Joe...
So, yeah, give us a little background on Donn Davison for those who aren't aware.
Okay, so Donn Davison... get ready, folks. So, born 1944 in Dayton, Kentucky, we found out, because reports were conflicting about that. He told different newspapers, I was born in Boston, I was born in Cincinnati, so far and so forth.
Northern cities too, by the way. I think it's interesting. Is like, oh yeah, I'm from a northern metropolitan city. It's like, well, no, you're from Campbell County, Kentucky.
He's just such a cultured man.
Sure, you can hear it in his voice every time he talks, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So he I mean, showmanship was in his blood. I mean, as a young lad, he became an amateur magician, playing in like school auditoriums, local Kiwanis clubs, and things like that, like in his early teens. And then around that time, also was a ventriloquist, still not an adult. He became a yo-yo champion, doing demonstrations and judging local yo-yo contests. And I believe also, I don't know what it was, but he supposedly also had his own little TV show. I have no idea what happened on said TV show. Alas, though, always getting too big for his current pair of britches, in his late teens, he began working in spook shows. Now, to those who don't know what a spook show is, don't think there's a lot of crossover in with our audience in that. Spook shows were a long-running form of pretty much spooky magic shows. They were born out of the spiritualism movement. And at first were mostly just like elaborate seances, where ghosts would materialize and things like that. But what they became to be and became most notorious for was they were normally done at midnight. They were traveling magic shows, which pretty much consisted of 30 minutes to an hour of spooky magic. Like, as you can see in Moonshiner's Woman, one of the things was burning someone in a casket, open it to reveal a flaming skeleton. Classic people being sawed in half. Into the 60s and late 70s, they got a bit gorier with the dismembering people and so on and so forth. Then there would be something called a blackout, where the magician would release the spooks into the audience, and all the lights would go out. And suddenly, over your head and all around you, ghosts would fly about, skeletons running up and down. Occasionally, celebrities like James Dean and Liz Taylor would mystically appear, which is just a giant cutout painted in luminous paint. So on and so forth. Like the ghosts were normally luminous cheesecloth. They paint the face of a skull in luminous paint, and they just like flip it around so it looks like it's appearing and disappearing over people's heads.
It's kind of like William Castle stuff, like he was doing.
Yeah, like William Castle on steroids, pretty much.
Yeah,
and then the show would end, and you would then see 2 horror movies afterwards. So you got like 3 hours of entertainment. Pretty much. And these were popular back then. They were the precursor to like the haunted houses that we know today. They were touring all over the States and into Canada even. All sorts of different magicians were doing it. And so, yeah, naturally, Davison, he began touring with one called Dr. Sin's House of the Living Dead, which is a very obscure one. I've never seen paper for that. But eventually he went out on his own, always keeping an eye on what the kiddies were into. He did shows that always had some sort of pop culture hook to them. Like when the twist was big in the mid-60s, he had Monster Go-Go that involved a twist contest. The gore films were happening at that time, so we did the Horror Chamber of Blood and Gore. Though it wasn't actually gory according to him. It was just the title. The monster craze was going on, famous monsters of filming and all that. So he did one called The Hollywood Monster Show. And yeah, and he'd have all sorts of wonderful, odd things. As you can see in the show notes, he did one where a man was apparently buried alive in person. And you could like look down and see him down there, and he'd be buried down there for like a weekend or so, and then they dig him up and he'd be fine. The notorious thing. One of the fun little hooks that they'd always do is win a free dead body. That dead body was a chicken.
Right. Wait, wasn't there a story where Donn Davison was telling in that documentary about how the woman, she just wanted to buy the chicken because she wanted dinner?
No. What happened was that, okay, so of course they always bought the cheapest chicken. that they could get, pretty much.
Right.
So one of the theater owners, this little lady, and just for history folks, this was also back in the day when like movie theaters actually had stages and stuff. Were very more mom and poppy, like not, the Cineplex types that we're talking about. So this local little theater owner was like, here, I got you this $10 whatever turkey. And he's like, oh, ma'am, you didn't have to do that. We normally give a little chicken. It's just a joke. He's mentally calculating the dollars that he's having to spend on this damn thing. It's like, shit, I can't feed the cast and crew now. I have to pay for this thing. But then she goes, oh, well, I wanted the fine folks in this town to have something good. It's okay. I'll pay for it out of my own pocket. He's, oh, thank God. Ooh. We can eat for this weekend.
Yeah.
Good God, she's dead.
So on and so forth. So yeah, he did that for a while. Worked with other icons like Pat Patterson, who's also doing spook shows at this time. The man who made that great little Spooks a Poppin' documentary, Jim Ridnour,
I think.
Yeah, Ridnour.
Mm-hmm. Who's in Moonshiner's Woman.
Yes. So yeah, he toured all over the South with those shows, all over in the sticks. There's another hilarious one where which studio put out Cleopatra? I'm drawing a blank.
20th Century Fox.
20th Century Fox. So 20th Century Fox found out that he was advertising that Liz Taylor as Cleopatra would materialize. They just happened to be playing a movie somewhere in the South the same time that he was doing his show. So they got the tear sheets. And suddenly, but beside their ad is him claiming Cleopatra was going to appear. So he gets a letter from their legal department saying so on and so forth. We're going to sue you, blah, 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 blah. Mm-hmm. And he sends a photo of his pickup or whatever ancient ass vehicle that he owned and said, this is all I got. Come and get it if you want. And they never did.
So what was the gag with that Liz Taylor materialization?
So he just bought a 24 sheet, cut her out, doused it in luminous paint, and during the blackout, 24 sheet just kind of floated around.
Amazing.
Yeah, that was it.
I wasn't sure if I was like, wait, there's no way he would hire a lookalike. That would be far too expensive.
That's more money. Are you kidding? Hell no.
No, he didn't. But I don't know. I guess it fooled people back in those days.
Oh, I don't think it fooled anybody. I don't. Yeah, let's be real. I don't think it fooled anybody. I like to think some little old lady down in Albuquerque or whatever was losing her mind because Liz Taylor was floating above her. No, I think it might have fooled children, and I feel like that was the target audience.
Children were a big one. Yeah. Teenagers so and children might have been were the number ones.
Right.
So he's playing movies at these things. What kind of movies is he playing?
Oh, normally the movies were like old Universal films,
horror movies,
50s B stuff. Yeah. Just that. He was also.
Is he paying to like screen these things? Like, I wonder how that works.
Not. I mean, I
doubt it.
Also, okay. Yeah. Also, these also depended on the magician themselves and how above board they were doing things. Playing two movies afterwards was standard. Everyone was doing it. So knowing him, he might have just gotten his hand on some prints in the depot.
Yeah.
Just toured around with them because they weren't advertised. Like they didn't advertise what movie they were playing. And stuff like that. That wasn't part of the show. They were just advertising the show.
Right. So they could have even just been prints that the theaters had. There were just like, old monogram hour-long shit. Like, I don't know, The Living Ghost or, whatever. Or Return of the Vampire, the Columbia thing. Like two movies, they had to be an hour long each. Mm-hmm. And then on top of the entertainment, I don't think they're going over an hour per movie in these things. Yeah.
The only person this is very mysterious. The only person there was only one show that was illegally done based around a movie, and it was the Texas Chainsaw Massacre show, which is so obscure. You can't find anything about it. But obviously, they were doing that below board because you cannot find a poster or anything for that.
Interesting.
And that's the whole thing. See the chainsaw monster come through the audience, blah 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 blah. Like the only kind of known characters they were ever advertising was the classics. Frankenstein is in. We're gonna have him, Dracula, so on and so forth. Those folks. Occasionally, they had the Fly. They had the Fly guy, but that's about the closest they got to a true IP.
Maybe I slipped up a few times, but hellfire, everybody makes mistakes.
So what made him want to get into producing his own films?
Supposedly it was Ron Ormond, but I don't know where that came from. Like I don't know where that popped up
who
from.
You can ask about that.
That's true. Jimmy McDonough.
Yeah.
Jimmy McDonough. I mean, the Amonds were road showing things down in the South around this time.
Yeah.
That's true.
It's a smaller world than one would think.
There's money here, Don.
Yeah,
Said,
exactly.
Okay.
Because the Ormonds were also super notorious at this time for really having overzealous exploitation campaigns and like the absolute tamest movies.
Mm-hmm.
Where like you were lucky if you saw cleavage, super lucky for like
please
more
don't
than
touch
10
me.
seconds. Yeah, or like girl from Tobacco Row,
yes, which I
White
love.
Lightning Road,
right,
and stuff like that. Like if you think about it, that is like the precursor to Donn Davison's model was your right way of doing things. So in 1968, he formed Lion Dog Enterprises, named after the type of dog he bred at the time, Shih Tzus, which, according to him, meant lion dog.
Which I question that even. He's not breeding dogs.
He's so weird.
That was in an interview that he said.
I don't know,
in that
man.
interview, he said in that interview that's where he said he was from Cincinnati.
Who knows?
I don't buy it.
I don't know.
In that interview on the Spook Show documentary, there's like a lot of animal sounds in the background. There's birds and stuff. So he definitely kept pets.
Yeah, it sounds like that documentary, it sounds like he's in an aviary. It sounds like his house is an aviary.
Oh my God. See, that's why Barbara was still around. Barbara would know if they were breeding dogs because she would probably be the one having to take care of those things. Yeah. I don't see Don taking care of those dogs.
That's what I was wondering, because I don't know if Barbara ever was with him on these ventures or things like that.
Yeah, he's on the road all the time. Yeah.
Right. For some odd reason, Box Office really listed almost everyone who breathed into Lion Dog offices, and Barbara is never mentioned as being around or working alongside Don or things like that. Tragically, I'm jumping ahead a bit, but when Mike and Lisa became friends with him, they never got to talk to Barbara because he just kind of took all the oxygen.
Well, they were done. They were not together anymore by the time they met. Because he had remarried. He remarried. Like, I have had a divorce record for him in 1984 to a completely different woman. So she was done with him by like the mid 70s. Yeah, she wasn't with him anymore.
Poor woman's so exhausted.
I know, which is why it's weird. Her obituary says that she helped her husband produce movies, and I'm just like, okay. But that was a long time ago, Barbara. Yeah.
You know,
they long divorced by then. I guess, yeah. Right.
So his first film was the veritable 16 millimeter travelogue, Moonshiner's Woman.
Travelogue.
Which really is mostly just a trip to Florida.
Right.
Folks, it doesn't have too much of a storyline. It's just mostly scenes spliced together for the most part.
It's such they advertise it as like a Southern picture, but I mean, I guess Florida is in the South, but this is not. There's no cabin. There's no like. Is there even any moonshine?
There is one
technically,
very briefly. Yeah. So folks, the thin plot of this movie is that these two hoods come and kill this redneck in the woods.
The titular moonshiner.
And they take and they pretty much kidnap his young wife, which she's not too phased about.
As her narration tells us, right?
Yes, yeah.
The whole
She's
thing
pretty
is told by
fine.
narration.
Also, by the way, folks, the head goon is Donn, and so
looking kind of hot. I'm not gonna lie, kind of hot.
Not doing.
Donn
bad.
is not. Is not somebody I would kick out of bed. He's kind of giving Patrick Wright a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit. Yeah,
I see that. He takes her and shows and gives her the finer things in life. Nice outfits, trips to Florida,
Daytona Beach.
Who is
trips
she?
to Daytona Beach to watch
Who is
racing.
Laura
A gal. Someone in the office.
Why would we know? Why would we know that? Gentry, here we go again.
I always
Why
have
would
to
we know
ask
that? Is it in the show notes? Then we don't know.
Keep going, Alex. Sorry to interrupt.
And also just interjected with the weirdest things. There's racing. There is some, in hindsight, great footage of a magic act showing one or two little spook show tricks. The most titular it gets is her in a bikini, I think.
Oh yeah.
She meets this, for some odd reason, there's randomly this like junkie gal who makes her try LSD, and that trip is something to behold. I definitely wouldn't take acid after seeing that.
Yeah. The most expensive part of the movie, because it was lab effects, where a lot of fast motion and split diopters.
That's just speeding up the camera. Like that's just done. You can just do that in camera.
But even like that editing of like that kaleidoscope effect, I'm like, okay, well, yeah, he spent a little money on this, I guess.
It shows that Donn did have his ear to the ground. You know, it's 1968. You got to have some kind of little drug exploitation in there.
Yeah, like his spook shows, he was tapped into.
but then there's like a spook
culture.
show magician act in there, so it's like nobody wants to see that.
Yeah, I don't even remember how that ends because it's just such a conglomeration of sequences.
I literally
just watched it. So
I just watched it. It ends with her accidentally killing the other woman and then walking down the street to very old music that sounds like it belongs in like an old 40s Western. It really is super duper cheap. Doesn't she end up with the guy at the end? I don't remember.
I'm shocked this movie has opticals.
I've never seen it until preparing for this. I've had the DVD-R for years, and I finally watched it, and I was just like, "Oh my god!"
Like this is one of those movies, folks, where it's single strand 60 millimeter. They didn't even AB roll it. The gunshot in the movie, the like the firing effect is just them punching a hole into the film itself to simulate gunfire.
I remember the radio spots for that more. Because it's very repetitive. It's just that moonshiner's a woman, moonshiner's a woman. Yeah, and it's just like
wild women and white lightning.
Yes, and it's great, and it really actually hypes up the movie. And then that I finally seen it decades after buying it, I'm just like, okay, wow, really good hyperbole, Donn. Like I will always give him that. He knew how to sell shit.
Now the screen explodes with all the fury of white lightning in Moonshiner's Woman. From the hills of Tennessee to the Daytona 200, it's motor roaring, shine drinking, fist pounding action. Moonshiner's Woman.
So he goes out so that's his first film. He goes out onto the road. Don't know how well it did, but with how cheap it is, how could you lose? With his level of showmanship, it probably made some dollars. And afterwards, he then went on to I don't know when some of these movies came out. I think, as you kind of put in here, Casey, this is when he seemingly started possibly taking other movies and just illegally reissuing them.
Right.
There's a bunch of like just mysterious titles, like Wild Woman with a Whip, The Bootlegger.
The Bootlegger, I feel like, I just put in the notes. I feel like maybe it's him stealing Moonshine Mountain, possibly.
Maybe, yes, yeah. So
maybe?
After Moonshiner's Woman, he starts, grabbing other movies and just releasing them as Line Dog releases.
That's what he do. Is that a She Freak? That's the incident where he.
I'm about to get to that.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
the chronology is weird. I don't know which was first, the Asylum or Obscenity. Yeah, I don't know which was first.
Yeah, I'm going to go with obscenity first.
Yeah, maybe.
Because they were released the same year. They were released the same year.
Right.
That's the problem. So let's just say his next official film, his next feature, is a film called Obscenity, aka The Great Movie Trial, which is partially some sort of courtroom type drama thing. We don't know because there is only a trailer, and most of it is Dawn slobbering over a woman's breasts.
There is footage. There is more footage on the Twisted Sex Volume 14. It's like it's a guy getting drunk and going on like on the town. Yes,
Dawn
exactly.
too.
It's Dawn.
Yeah.
It's Dawn once again casting himself in the lead.
The city's spinning around. Yeah.
It's much more, and it's obviously him doing color for the first time, and it's much more adventurous in terms of like its technical aspirations.
Yeah.
So he's trying to do something a little more polished. Not that much more polished, but it's definitely more
together than Moonshiner's Woman. Let's just say that.
Yes.
He learned one or two things between these two movies. So that comes out in 1971. I don't know how well that did. It's hard to even find paper for that. It's
the title.
It's not on IMDb. Pretty much.
Someone added it to TMDB, but I don't know what they put on it. I only just found The Great Movie Trial because I was finding him referencing it. And then I found an article saying it's since been retitled to Obscenity. And I was like, okay, I mean, that's definitely better for advertising than The Great Movie Trial. And I also wonder because he said that he was inspired by the 7 Minutes to do The Great Movie Trial. 7 Minutes was a huge disaster. So clearly you're going to want to call it Obscenity because who's going to want to watch a movie about a trial after the 7 Minutes bombed disastrously?
Too, that he mentioned Russ Meyer because we know that he has seen some Russ Meyer films, which I think will be important to when we talk about the movie here.
Sure.
Shantytown Honeymoon, which has definitely echoes of Russ Meyer.
Right. Well, even Moonshiner's Woman seems like, I mean, he's clearly seen Lorna and Mudhoney. Like, who hasn't at that point? Like, that's toured like crazy.
One notable thing to connect this with Shantytown is if this was the first one before Asylum of the Insane, this is the first Ashley Brooke vehicle that he did with her. Yes.
Sorry to interrupt. I just remember there is an article about Ashley Brooke where it says he found her and then put her in The Great Movie Trial and then Asylum of the Insane and then
that's it.
Honeymoon. So that's the chronology. So The Great Movie Trial was first, and then this one. Asylum of the Insane, which Asylum of the Insane doesn't even count. I can't even count it. It's like what, 6 minutes of footage?
The screen explodes in a potent, virile explosion of sheer sexual energy. Only recent court decisions, coupled with the brilliance of an international director, make this film possible. From the withering cesspool of modern minds, an observation of the great society without morals. People in a hurry. Traveling a road that goes nowhere. People caught in the mirror of self-truth. A solid, cinematic realization. Man and woman, loving, hating, using, a slice of unleashed hate and violence. Donn Davison's masterpiece of sin and sexual passion. Obscenity.
Yeah, so I'm just going to really briefly get into her for a second because she just pops up now. She was born in Chattanooga, Tennessee. Smartly, she received a degree in business at University of Tennessee. Began doing stage acting and modeling. She did a lot of small local TV commercials for local businesses, which is how she met Davison. How that happened, I do not know. And he cast her in this. And then supposedly she's in Asylum of the Insane footage, which may be true because so I don't have the She Freak Blu-ray. I only have the Image Monsters Crash the Pajama Party release, but there's a smidge of footage missing from the Image one where a go-go girl is attacked by a man with a knife. And I'm wondering if that could be her. Or he just grabbed her and toured her around to promote Asylum of the Insane, saying that she is the starlet of Asylum of the Insane, who supposedly did, she did a bunch of newspaper interviews, as we found. She supposedly did some radio. Yeah, he took her on a little press junket for Asylum of the Insane, which is 8 minutes of shitty 3D footage inserted in the beginning of She-Freak. I mean, don't know if all the prints were She-Freak, because there were at least 6 prints circulating. The one we have is She-Freak. And yeah, that did not too badly for him, but how can you lose on an 8-minute 3D reel and stolen prints?
It's so stupid.
Like how can you?
Well, it's so funny reading one of the interviews. It's kind of like Ashley Brooke is sworn to secrecy about what the movie's about, and I'm just like, she's not an idiot. If she had that business degree, she's like, you know what, this is great. I'm getting paid. let's ride this train all the way to the bank.
I'm in papers. Yeah, Ashley seems like a smart little cookie. Yeah,
smart cookie.
I'd love to hear from Ashley now. She knows exactly what she's doing.
I'm trying to find her. I was trying to even trace back to where I was trying to trace her back to the high school and the college. I think Ashley Brooke might just be her first and middle name and different. And I don't know what her last name would be. So that's the tough part.
And also, Ashley Brooke is, I've learned, kind of a common name.
Shockingly.
Yes. As well. So lots of dead ends there. So yeah, Asylum of the Insane happens. Can't believe. Yeah, he advertised that whole thing as being 3D. And it's only 8 minutes of that. And some of it's just children playing and a yo-yo demonstration.
Oh, right. The yo-yo demonstration. Tying back in. He's like, let's, for old time's sake, let's do some yo-yo shit. Right.
Yeah. I don't know who the guy's name is. Yeah. That was a friend of his from the old yo-yo champion days.
So he's throwing the yo-yo in your face like as 3D, right?
Like House of Wax too. House of Wax is that yo-yo, doesn't it? I think. Something that I think is so interesting to note, though, is so he was born in 1944. Some of these newspaper articles are aging him when he was doing yo-yo stuff, saying like he's 23, 24. He was literally 18 years old when he was touring as this yo-yo champion. He was 25 when he did Moonshiner's Woman. And he looks so much older in the movie. So it's just like, I think he reads as older because he's like this big burly guy. But he was still in his 20s when he did this.
And he would slick his hair back. That made him look a little older.
Yes. He was like a bad, low budget, devious Orson Welles. Like, it's really nuts. Because Orson Welles did Citizen Kane when he was, 25?
Right, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Moonshiner's Woman at 25.
The Orson Welles of exploitation.
Here's Citizen Kane. Donn Davison, the Orson Welles of exploitation. Yeah, it's nuts. Because when you think about it, he was 27 in 71. That's really nuts. That's really nuts. He was a baby compared to all these other guys like Novak and all these World War II people. You know?
Yeah.
He was younger than everybody.
And Bob Cressy was also very young compared to everyone else.
Right. Well. Bob Cressy was a little older than him, but not by much.
Yes. Yeah. Cressy's another one that he appeared older than he actually was.
Yes. I think it's the roundness, probably. It's the roundness. But yeah, it is crazy. That's something that I definitely wanted to mention. It's like because I was wondering if the birth date was right, and I found his death certificate, and it is right. And I was like, wait a minute. So he really was in his 20s when he was doing this shit? I thought it was a lie. I thought it was a mistake. No, he really was like this wunderkind of exploitation. Really nuts.
Well, maybe that's why Friedman kind of like gave him a little bit of a pass, when he was mucking around with his She-Freak print. It's like, this kid's
he also found that out a long time later.
Oh, really?
I was going to ask you that. Yeah.
According to Dave, this is on one of the commentaries, Donn fessed up about that ages later.
Wow.
Okay. Yeah. Long time later. I mean, again, he was playing it really deep down in the South.
Right.
A campaign that had included 0 artwork stolen from Shantytown.
That's true.
She-Freak.
Right.
So who would know? My movie isn't in 3D.
Unless someone saw it and ran and told Dave, how would you ever know? Yeah.
Right. But if he was handling distribution all himself, then none of the other 40 Thieves would be aware of it. Like any of the other regional distributors, like a SAC or any of the other people that were doing all the Southern stuff, they wouldn't have been able to drop the dime to Dave. Dave would have had not a clue. So yeah, that's something else I didn't even think about.
For context, folks, Davison was classic roadshow. Like, he was very 30s in how he distributed things, where he would just bounce from town to town and town with him or another associate handling it all. Just really quickly come in, paper a town, do all sorts of appearances, play the film around, move on.
Which makes me wonder, like, who taught him? Like, who was his mentor? Because if he's this young, who showed him these ropes?
Well, if he was doing the spook shows, the spook shows are very that.
Whoever was whoever was behind like Dr. Sin and shows like that he would have already known, he would have already had connections with theater owners and drive-ins. I should mention Donn was one of the few who did spook shows at drive-ins on top of the concession stand. So he
That's
already
so crazy.
had his finger on his finger on the pulse back in the early to mid 60s. And this is just another show.
And then based on that, with that history of screening just whatever print they had, regardless of whether they had the rights to it, just shove a fake title on anything you have a print of and just screen it, because who's going to know? Once it's done, it goes back into my trunk. Once it's out of the projector, it goes back in my trunk. Who's going to know? Right. Crazy.
Yeah, a bunch of those other guys, would have a movie like Skid Row, and it would be some monogram drama from the 30s, just tacked on in there with the birth of a baby reel, of course.
Right. That's kind of why I've been trying to find out what the childbirth movies are that he did, and they could have been any number of different films. It might not have been one film. And for whatever reason, I thought Wages of Sin or Price of Sin was that 66 German movie. It might not have been. It might have been an age-old thing. It might have been Because of Eve, for all we know.
I heard, I don't know, and also this is also unsubstantiated, I heard one of the prints used was Ghetto Freaks later on for that, because I was playing into the 70s.
Which is nuts.
I guess they learn the Wages of Sin, I guess they learn in that. And again, that had Birth of a Baby too. That was that was a combo. It was The Price of Life and Wages of Sin together.
Right.
Blah, 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 blah.
Right. And I don't know, I need to try to find more interviews with Donn about that. I know that Cinephier did an interview with him. But that's also something that I feel like Mike or Lisa might have asked him, and we should follow up with Lisa on this, is did he ever reveal what the actual identity of these movies were that he put out under these different titles? Or was that something that he took to the grave with him because he was just trade secret? What I could see him being a magician and keeping those secrets to himself.
That's the thing, yeah. What I know, because I spoke to Lisa about this last night, is Mike never officially interviewed him, so he's not down on the record. And there's a bunch of paper. He gave him a bunch of paperwork, but I don't exactly think they would say Wages of Sin is Ghetto Freaks, send it here, so on and so forth. There's a bunch of mysterious things connected to Donn that I don't think we will ever know. He was connected to another weird horror movie show called Horror Swamp or something like that Lisa's paper for, of women in a yard attacking people. There's a lot we will never know about Donn, unfortunately, because he died before DVD era.
Young too, 55 years old. Yeah. He could still be alive. Born in 44, he would be 82.
Right.
We have 82-year-old filmmakers we're talking to. Barry Spinella.
Yeah.
We have people in their 80s.
Yeah.
The pictures that you will see in a few minutes will explain in bold and plain and factual language the facts of life that many parents cannot or will not explain. And we do hope that many of you have your sons and your daughters with you this evening to see this program. For we believe that ignorance is sin and knowledge is power. And now, here is the first part of our program.
So what I gather here, all these mystery titles, we don't know if they're even original Donn Davis movies or not. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes.
Right. Yeah.
The only mystery film that he supposedly made, which was after Shantytown Honeymoon, was this thing called The Smut Peddler, shot as Ride Again, which involved some of the Shantytown women like Pepper Thurston, Valarie Lipsey, got reached out to her, and Ashley Brooke, which was apparently shot, finished. He started working on the campaign for it, but I haven't found any thing called The Smut Peddler playing anywhere. So was this film ever actually completed? Where is this film? All his negatives don't exist. So besides Shantytown, because that was sold, but
was he distracted by film ventures potentially? I don't know.
Because when he was working at Film Ventures, we're going ahead a bit, folks, but he was still releasing like retitled movies.
Yeah, that's true. That is true
as well.
But then Film Ventures released a lot of. He reissued some stuff through Film Ventures too, like Hillbilly Hooker was a Film Ventures.
Yes.
Yeah,
that's right. That's correct.
Yeah, Love Slaves was Film Ventures.
We should briefly mention Dragon Art, probably.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say we haven't even talked about probably what most people know Donn from, which is the Dragon Drive-In Theater.
Yes, it was just one, but something weird took the name and did that whole series. Of storefront hardcore films, which included his filmed intro to the Dragon Art Theater.
Right.
Which is a wonderful thing. It's just Donn sitting in a room going, "We hope you enjoy your time at Dragon Art Theater, the best in adult entertainment. Let it be known these films are strictly for adults only." Blah 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 blah.
Which is funny though, because now that we've seen more of the films that have shown at that theater, they didn't show hardcore for a long time.
Yeah.
So like
a lot like it was all of our favorites
intro
pretty
before
much.
all hardcore is nuts because they were not showing hardcore. They were showing softcore until at least 1973. They were not making that transition.
Yeah, it was
which is crazy
all
considering how many things he was convicted for over softcore. Like in 69, 70, 71. It was all over softcore shit still.
Which is crazy. Yeah.
Crazy.
So apparently that area was super religious. Folks, this was in Gainesville, Florida. He opened the Dragon Drive-In in 1969. The name changed to Dragon Art a year later. And apparently he had a ton of local harassment because by 1975, he was over it and sold it to the local Catholic Church, who tried to run shitty family films for a short period, but that went nowhere. So they demolished it.
Wow.
Yeah. He was sentenced to 6 months or 60 days in jail. He kept trying to appeal it for several years because he let a minor in. He showed a harmful movie to a minor.
Son. Yeah, a policeman's 15-year-old son.
And you know what they were showing? Daisy Chain and Kiss Me Quick. And a preview of Secret Sex Lives of Romeo and Juliet. Not hardcore. And this was in 1970.
Yeah.
And he kept trying to appeal it so that he didn't have to go to jail. I found an article where it's like they kept denying it and denying it. He kept going back over and over. And into 1974, he was still trying to appeal it. And eventually, I don't know if he ever did the jail time, but he was trying to not go to jail. And I don't know if they continued to refuse to vacate the conviction. Which is so crazy.
That sheriff must have had it out for him.
I know. Were they trying to make an example out of him? Who knows?
I don't know. It went all the way to the Florida Supreme Court. It went to the state level, not just local level. It went state level.
Yeah,
crazy.
In the pre-dawn hours today, when most people were still sound asleep, at least 2 men were very hard at work. The unidentified pair, wearing stocking masks, marched boldly into the Midtown office of Du Bois Jewelers, overpowered the night watchman, and made off with what has been estimated at over $1 million worth of rare gems. After discarding their masks, the thieves proceeded to the building's roof heliport, where they commandeered a helicopter. The helicopter was later found abandoned at a small airport just north of the city. Witnesses at the scene say that the men were met by 2 females, and that all 4 took off in a twin-engine aircraft that was apparently awaiting their arrival. This same plane is believed to have crashed in the heart of the Carolina mountains. A search for the wreckage is currently underway.
Yeah.
Crazy.
All right. So he sells the theater, and then what's he do?
Well, we should get back to 1971.
Okay.
Because in 1971, even before Asylum of the Insane is released, he's preparing to shoot another film, which became our Shantytown honeymoon. So first of all, the original intention was to shoot the whole thing in 3D. Great, that would have been crazy. Imagine this in 3D.
Pepper in 3D. Still my beating heart. Are you kidding?
That one shot of her walking towards the camera and just smothering it with her tit.
Yeah.
Come on.
Can you imagine that?
Isn't it wild that she is so incredible and she doesn't even do nudity in this film?
No.
She doesn't need to.
Yeah,
she doesn't need to.
No,
it's really crazy.
not.
Yeah,
it would kind of ruin it in a way. It's like one of those cases where, it would ruin it.
Yeah. No, she's just all woman. You don't need to know what's under the clothing, under the bikini and the bra.
In of herself an untouchable tease, so it adds to her.
Yeah.
So it just adds to her panache. Right. So around this time, Preacher Man had been shot for $60,000 and came out and made a bucket load. So he kind of wanted to have but made a lot of money. So he kind of now wanted to have his own Preacher Man. His wife, Barbara Morris Davidson, conceived of the plot. It's set for the paperback market. I have not found any evidence of her putting out fiction.
I know. I was going to say, Mr. Paperback, you would know.
Yeah, exactly.
Would know.
I would have been on this ages ago.
Oh,
So she wrote the script for this bad boy, which was then simply titled Honeymoon. Shockingly, the budget was supposedly $50,000, financed by a various bunch of theater owners and distributors. None of Donn's money.
Nice.
Even before shooting out, Tanya Hansen was supposed to be in it. The Swedish gal, she wasn't. Of course, it starred Ashley Brooke once again as Reba Sue and a bevy of other local Atlanta actors, and of course Pepper Thurston, who was just a local model and singer in Atlanta. She's only ever in one other film, The Heat-End of Mak Bang Yao, or
I was wondering how you were going to say that.
Of the Girl Snatchers.
Right.
I watched the trailer beforehand to try and get the vernacular right.
Right, I forgot that trailer. Yeah,
that awful trailer, which was shot by Lee Jones, who was Donn's right-hand man in Moonshiner's Woman, and was the producer of Shantytown.
See the Hidan of Malpiang Jiao coming soon to this theater.
How about Gone with the Wind?
The Hidan of Malpiang Jiao.
Mafia madness, man.
The Hidan of Malpiang Jiao. If you can't say it, go see it.
The Tennessee Valley Authority? The Odd Father? Moon Over My Army. No, it's Moon Over Miami. What's that masked man? I don't know, man, but he left a silver toilet seat.
Lee was interviewed once, but only about William Girdler. It was not a career-spanning interview. So how they met up was he was working in Atlanta film at some point, but how they met up, I have absolutely no idea. Yeah, other actors. The most interesting one was definitely George Ellis, who played the moonshiner Harlan. He, besides starting off in theater, was most notorious as one of the early TV horror hosts called Bestoink Dooley, who was more of a little popper looking guy. He was not a scary horror host.
Yeah, how was he what was his getup?
He had a little top hat, a crappy little suit, flower in his breast pocket. He mostly played for laughs and things. He was the most unscary TV horror host you could ever have. But he was well known enough that the Dooley character was brought to screen in Legend of Blood Mountain in 1965.
Isn't he on the poster for that?
Yeah.
It's like an illustration.
It's so weird.
Is. Yeah. It's very strange. Yeah. I remember that poster now. Now that you described him, I was like, wait a minute. I've seen that poster. I would not go see that movie based on the poster.
It's apparent. I haven't seen it yet. It's apparently not good.
The original version's lost. I think the only version that's around is the Jeffrey C. Hogue version, I think. Because something weird put that out.
Was it originally called Legend of Blood Mountain? Because there's a print of that.
It was in 65, and then it was retitled Blood Beast of Monster Mountain. That's the version that most people have access to. Yeah.
I know someone who has a print of, I think, the original version. He popped up on Facebook recently. Yeah.
It's not on video. Okay.
Well, Jeffrey C. Hogue has that film.
Does he own the retitled recut version or the original version? That's the big question.
Try and get that info out of Jeffrey C. Hogue?
I know. That's true.
That's not happening. That
and it wouldn't matter. It wouldn't matter what he wouldn't know if it was true or not. He would just say he owns it. He wouldn't tell you. He wouldn't tell you straight up or not. That's very true. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
His biggest claim to local Atlanta history, though, is that he started the first art house theater in the mid 60s called the Festival Cinema, which naturally did not do well at all playing art house films. He accumulated $40,000 in debt and had to switch to adult films to make up for that. He was arrested on obscenity charges, I think around 1970 or 1969, and thus forcing the theater to close. But in 1970, countercultural movement was growing a bit, and inspired by that, he thought it was a good time to try again, and he opened the Film Forum. And wildly, he decided to open a second film forum, and then a third cinema called the Bijou Cinema, which he ran throughout the 70s. Unfortunately, by 1980, those things barely managed to stay afloat. I'm shocked that they lasted for as long as they did. They were constantly struggling to break even. He was forced to close and sell off the theaters. And by that point, I don't know how well he was doing on stage, but on screen, he had just been really doing small bit parts every once in a blue moon. By 1980, he hadn't done anything in 5 years. So he sadly faded off into obscurity, broke, and died of a heart attack in the motel room where he was living in 1983. Very sad end to that man, because he's great in this.
Evil Jezebel, don't you even speak the name of our sweet Father. You who pulled men from their marriage beds to lust after the likes of you.
Quickly going through Mike Kulik, local Atlanta actor. He had some success in TV. He didn't want to talk about this movie. He's around.
His IMDb bio was very interesting. Have you not read it?
Yes.
Fascinating.
I have.
I mean, the guy he wanted to get married to a woman whose family wouldn't let him get married because he was Jewish. She had a daughter that he had to give up, and then he came back like 10 years later trying to find her, and wrote a script about it. I find that very interesting.
Who put this all in the IMDb for him?
It says an admirer.
Interesting.
So I have no idea.
He wrote a memoir, which I have seen the cover of, but you can't find it anywhere.
Yeah, I think it's about that specifically. Yeah,
maybe. Yeah, maybe. I know his daughter has spoken about him, because at first I was going to try and find her to get to him, and I found him living in Florida, doing his thing, I guess, grumbling to people like me.
He definitely wrote that. He definitely wrote that IMDb mini biography.
It's very florid and very yes. But I thought it was very interesting. I mean, it's once again, like he's fine in this, but it's just like, well, that's a very interesting story. I would read that story.
On the IMDb, in his biography, it has his height 5'8.5". Like, come on. Okay. He totally updated that
himself. He added that half.
Yes.
He made
but I
sure
do like that. But I like when people are around and contribute their own IMDb bios like that. Especially when they're not really known people. So like there's no one who would be updating that bio except for that person or a family member. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I thought that was an interesting bio.
He plays. Remind us who he plays in the movie again.
He plays Kirk.
Okay, there you go.
And you can tell by the name what his character's like. He's Kirk. He's fine. This movie's about the women. Like, this is just one of those films where, like, the guys are just there to give reason for the women to do things besides walking around looking great.
Yeah. Pretty much. I mean, that is sexploitation in a nutshell. Like, I don't care about the men. Get out of my life.
It is.
Not interested.
There's Horlon as the moonshiner. Yeah. And then there's the, like, buttoned up British guy who is the mastermind.
The discount Donald Pleasance. Jim Peck, he was interesting because he started as a minister, but because of his advocacy for civil rights, he was dismissed. So he became an actor at 37, and had I don't know if he's still doing it. I just can't find him. Last information I found is in 2013. He was still doing theater work, I think. So he's kept busy. Jim, if you happen to be listening to this, reach out. Trudy Moore, who you figured out is assistant director, Trudy McCullough, need to do some more work on that. The electric grill sales girl.
Yes, and I confirmed because there was a picture of her in the paper, and that it matches the chin matches. She has a little like dimple or a little mark or something on her chin, which is also in the picture in the paper. So I'm like, okay, that is Trudy Moore. Good to know.
Yeah,
and that's also why she also didn't do nudity either, because she was a sales girl who I guess wanted to help Donn out. Could have been his mistress for all I know. Sorry if you're listening, Trudy, but that's where the mind goes. You know. Yeah, it makes you wonder why Barbara wasn't the assistant to the director. Does it not? She wrote the movie.
I'm like, where is Barbara in this whole thing?
Why is Trudy involved? Yeah, it's very interesting.
How did
what if Trudy was Barbara's sister? Like I said, we need to research this more, but I don't know. Maybe it's a sister-in-law.
Who knows?
I don't know. We'll figure it out. More research to do.
The iconic Madam, Jessabelle, Valarie Lipsey.
Not Jezebel.
We check.
Jezebel.
No, yeah, Jezebel. I said that.
I know. It's from the movie.
Okay. He calls her Jezebel in the movie, though.
Yeah.
So it matches.
I told you my name's Jezebel, not Jezebel.
I know. That's good.
She has a great little speech. Yeah.
Yeah, she's fun.
Yeah. There's little moments in this film where I'm like, Barbara, I like you. You know what you're doing.
The script is good. There's good dialogue in it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Watching it, I was like, this is a poorly... I don't want to say poorly written. It's not as good Russ Meyer. That's the feeling I got throughout it. Like there are entertaining moments, but it makes me think of how well written Russ's films really are after you see this.
It's more like Common Law Cabin, which is not Russ. It is Jack Moran, who did Faster Pussycat. That's what it's like. Yes, it's like a Jack Moran script for a Russ Meyer movie.
Not as good Jack Moran script. Yes.
Pepper is Elena Capri. Pepper is basically Elena Capri. Yeah. But giant.
Huskier, just
much more, very different vibe than Elena Capri.
How can you possibly expect me to take a bath in that? I do it all the time.
Try to remember, Suzanne, not everyone is as big as you are.
I realized that they actually do make a few references to her size. Like it's I didn't pick that up in the first time I watched it, but yeah, it's like constant. Like everything they say to her is like, you're a giant, you're huge, like you can't wash yourself in the sink because you're too big.
I think
why are you slobbering over that big busted pig?
It would have been weird if they didn't reference it. I think it would have just been too conspicuous. It's like this woman is a giant and towers over everyone else in the movie. I feel like we need to address this.
Yeah.
It is absolutely, once again, unflustered by everything going on around her.
It's Queen.
Wearing that wonderful sweater with the belt, the tiniest of shorts, the go-go boots, which is the exact same outfit that she wears in He-Dan. So I like to think that her closet is just 20 of those.
Yeah,
sure.
And nothing more. Like that's just what Pepper wears. She's still wearing them to this day.
Well, I was very excited when I was like, you know what? What the hell? Let's see if we can find Pepper. Lo and behold, there's only one Pepper Thurston. That name is too specific. I thought it was a fake name. Not a fake name.
Nope.
That is her real name. There's a birth certificate.
As far as we know, she's alive.
Did you send her a letter?
Yes. So, folks, there were 3 different numbers attached to her. All of them were out. None of them weren't. So I sent her a letter last week. We will see what happens. She is my goddess. She is why I wake up every morning. So if I get a letter from her, that there'll be a reason why you won't hear from me for like a month.
Now you have to survive that to tell us that it happened. Yeah. Because otherwise, if you just pass away from the excitement, it will do nobody any good. So,
well, I'll be
for
found
the good
next
of the
to a
history.
response from her. So
Right.
They'll find your body on the floor, like clutching
the
the letter
letter.
in your hand. Yeah.
yeah.
Now, can you imagine, Alex, if you were a little gay boy in 1971 South Carolinas, whatever, and Pepper Thurston rolls into town for a personal appearance with Shantytown Honeymoon?
Would never be the same again.
That's a life-changing moment.
Would be, oh my God. She even looked at
die.
me. Didn't even have to say anything. If she just looked in my direction, I would melt.
Why don't you pick on someone your own size for once, you creep?
Hey, have you ever considered minding your own business?
No.
Shut up, all of you.
So tell us about these appearances she made, though. I'm curious.
Yeah.
How? What kind of rounds did they make? Where did they go?
Well, apparently Davison took her on a multi-city tour for 9 days with stops at 6 TV stations, 14 newspaper offices, and 31 radio stations. She gave away 5,300 autographed photos and was there in person at 2 of its premiere openings. Did they shuffle her between? I do not know if they played it earlier at one and then they quickly jumped into the car and went to the next one. But the opening ads has a photo of her, what looks like some sort of model shot. She's looking great. Wish I owned that. Tonight only, star Pepper Thurston in person.
It's crazy. Now, actually, knowing that she stopped at TV stations and radio stations, there's hypothetically footage of her in the local news media archives. But I wish we knew which stations and which radio stations those were, because it's entirely possible that there's more footage of Pepper that we haven't seen yet as herself, just talking.
Yeah, I was going to say anything with that voice.
Holy grail is to now get her hypothetical 6 TV interviews from those 6 TV stations.
Every single one. And I will get 6 different TVs and play them all.
Your version of Chelsea Girls, the Andy Warhol movie. It's just all the different interviews projected at the same time.
Well, I'm also curious if her voice in the film is a little put on or not. I want to hear her speak.
So in Hedan, it's the same.
Okay.
That's as far as I know, she wasn't an actress. Like I don't think she's exactly being a persona.
Right.
I don't know. I feel like that's all Pepper right there.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah, I think that's just her.
She's younger than she looks. Like Donn, she's younger than she looks in this movie. So it does kind of make me wonder, is she putting on an affect to appear older? Or did she just sound like that? It's, I don't know. Can you imagine if she went through this massive girth spurt at like 12 and she sounded like that since she was 12?
Incredible.
It's entirely possible because she's like 19 in this or something. I forget what year she was born now, but I was looking, we were going over the dates and I was like, this seems young for her. But I guess considering Donn wasn't that old either, and he looks way older. Yeah. I don't know.
Her yearbook photo is just like half of her head cut off because she's so tall.
They couldn't raise the camera. Yeah, it's so good. I mean, she's iconic. She is one of those few actresses that appears in something sexploitation or sexploitation adjacent who never did nudity, and it's just like va va voom. Here she is. It's like her, Leslie McRae, and like one other person who's just like, wow, okay, icon.
She didn't have to do anything else. She just had to exist.
Yeah, part of me is like, her personality would have fit in a Russ Meyer film, but again, I don't know if she would have gotten along with Russ's style of filmmaking.
She wouldn't have, I don't think, because she's dealing with Donn, who's like obviously not. Who's barely a director. So Russ is much more controlling and in charge of his style and his technique. And he would expect her to lift shit and things like that. I don't know if Donn expected her to do any heavy lifting. I think she would have said no when he would have been fine with it.
I feel like she didn't even carry her own bags when they when they went down to Florida. So oddly enough, folks, this was mostly shot. So the interiors of this film were shot in Georgia, possibly something in North Carolina, in not North, just somewhere in Carolina. I mean, Charlotte. But because of bad weather, and he knew a lab down in Florida that the folks were like, you should come on film down here at some point. He packed everyone up and flew them down to Dade City to shoot all of the exteriors for this film at a Christmas tree ranch.
Well, he had connections down in Florida, we know, from Moonshiner's Woman.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Right.
I just find it wonderfully insane that Shantytown Honeymoon was half shot at a Christmas tree ranch in the middle of nowhere in Dade City. And that explains where some of the 50,000 went.
Sure.
To skirt them down there. I think they were down there for about a week or so. Could not have been more than a week. Yeah, this was shot a lot longer than I expected. This was almost like a month. It started in early February and ended in early March.
Yeah.
Well, he was also he was working with professionals. Like I was doing last minute research on Avram Fine, the cinematographer and the editor of this. That guy was an established professional. Like he was not going to have some fly by night production like Moonshiner's Woman. That's why it looks better. That's why the camera moves. There's dolly shots and tracking shots. So he was an actor and playwright in Miami in the 50s, and then he moved to Atlanta in the 60s, and he started working on industrial films. And he was successful enough at that he then relocated to Pittsburgh, where his family was, and he had a motion picture laboratory there, which was like a production house with all these studio facilities. But Georgia called him back. He wanted to stay in Georgia. So he went back to Georgia. He opened an editing facility called the Editing Center, where apparently he later helped Francis Ford Coppola edit Apocalypse Now for a sneak preview screening in Atlanta. And they worked together editing it as a team, and they cut out 6 minutes for that preview. I don't know what that 6 minutes was, and I don't know where it went. But so he, and then I think the reason I recognize his name is because he photographed Axe for Frederick Friedel. And I think that was because of J.G. Patterson, because the Patterson connection to Davison makes sense because they knew each other and worked together. And I think Patterson also worked as assistant director on Obscenity. So
yes, he was involved.
It's possible. It's possible Avram even shot that. So it's entirely possible that he was recruited to do that based on his editing facility work. And then he edited Kidnap Co-Ed for Friedel. He was replaced as a cinematographer by Austin McKinney, and that's why Kidnap Co-Ed looks better than Axe, because I think he's more of an editor. So I'm shocked, but I thought he was dead because he's not interviewed on that Friedel double feature. He is still alive. He's 91 years old, lives in Pennsylvania. Alex, I put his email address in there.
I was going to say, I will be contacting him after this episode.
As the cinematographer and editor of this, and if it bounces back, let me know. I will figure it out, because everything I've found points to him still being alive, including like census reports from the most recent census report. So,
oh wow, okay,
yeah. So he is still alive. He's just ancient, and so
I mean, if he shot and edited this, he's pretty close to this film.
Yeah.
Well, he could have also done Obscenity. We don't know. Because we have no credits, we have no press book, we have no nothing. He could have shot us the Asylum of the Insane footage. We don't know that either.
Okay. It's
entirely possible.
Let's not sticking with that, Casey. Just
nobody wants to be responsible for that. But I could see him being a tech person, finding that an interesting experiment to work on, and being like, "Yeah, sure, let's try 3D."
Maybe,
but he was very active in Atlanta film into like the 90s, and then he became a film professor. And then he co-wrote a memoir of this former Army general called Codename Copperhead, which is crazy because he did a lot of press for that book. So yeah, I feel like he's maybe the missing link to discuss the production aspects of all of Davison's movies after Moonshiner's Woman, potentially.
Yeah, I think that's also one of the things that attracted me to this film as well. For how silly of a movie it is, it looks pretty good for, like, you wouldn't expect it to, it's not Russ Meyer, but like just hearing about it and hearing us talk about it so far, you would not expect to be as well lit as it is.
And there's very surprising camera movements. It's not stationary camera and everything. It also makes good use of that space. I think it makes really good use of the location. So it doesn't look as stage bound as it potentially could. It kind of reminds me of like Scum of the Earth in that way, the Texas movie, the Brown Rig movie, where it's all in that one location that's very cramped, but it makes very good use of that very tense location. I forgot it was him who did it until I was like, this is my opportunity to research this guy because I loved his work for Friedel. The editing for Kidnapped Co-ed is really super incredible.
She's pretty and only 17, the co-ed daughter of a millionaire. Now she has a date with a kidnapper.
Shut up and drive.
Kidnapped Co-ed, an exciting motion picture.
Morning, I'll let you know how much and where to drop the money. No cops. No cops or she's dead.
A tale full of twists and turns. Kidnapped Co-ed, rated R.
You know what? Scum of the Earth should have been titled Demented Death Farm Massacre.
Yes.
Isn't that a better title for that film?
No.
It's more like a slasher.
I mean,
that's not a good title
films,
for anything.
And that's the thing.
True.
It's not good for any, but if you had to, gun to your head.
Yeah.
I know.
Put that title
Scum of the
something.
Earth is much more that's even much more of an artistic endeavor than any title it's ever had would imply. I love that movie to death, but Demented Death Farm Massacre sounds like something that like a film student who wants to make something cheap to get into the trauma door would make. Even Fred Olen Ray at that point wasn't making movies with those titles anymore. He was making better stuff, I think.
A land of child brides and shotgun weddings comes Shantytown Honeymoon. You'll meet Harlan Cravens, the moonshiner who hid behind the good book and broke every rule in it. And then meet Reba Sue, the child bride who knew every steam heat shanty in the valley.
It's going to be one of your Bible spouting days.
Yeah, we should probably get into the release history of this movie.
Yes, I'm dying to know more about this because I'm just like, what the hell? Like,
because so weird. Okay.
Yeah. So when we were putting together these show notes, I was like, okay, there's so many titles, and this is just so complex. We need like A to B, and Alex is like, keep scrolling. It's at the bottom.
Right. No, Alex
yeah,
right.
I got it. I got it.
All right. So walk us through this. Yeah.
Yeah. So it comes out July of 1972 and plays for around 2 years as Shantytown Honeymoon. I'm not really about to believe these numbers. Supposedly, like, there were a bunch of ads for this in box office. One of them saying in 112 theaters total, it made $384,000. In 148 theaters, it made $500,000. Now, this again, because Donn had his stuff all over the sticks. There's probably a lot more bookings than newspaper.com has of this.
Possibly. That is true.
That's the one thing, because I found nowhere it was playing consistently throughout those years. But I found nowhere near 100 theaters playing this thing. But I still want to take into account that he was all over the boondocks with his product. So it probably made money. We'll never know though how much it did make. So it plays around for 2 years there, seemingly does okay. Still want to know what the response to this thing was. It has a long ass trailer. It has a 5-minute long trailer, all composed of outtakes, with some copy stolen from Russ Meyer as well in it.
What copy?
Oh, there's some common law cabin in there. A lush cushion of evil perched upon the throne of immorality.
Yeah.
So on and so forth.
Well, that's funny that you mentioned that, because on the Twisted Sex compilation, I think that Mike had put Good Morning and Goodbye right before the trailer for not Shantytown Honeymoon, but the trailer for its retitle, Hillbilly Hooker.
I need to see if I have the trailer because that's a 5-minute trailer, and that's just constant narration.
Well, and then it's extra pepper footage. It sounds like there's extra pepper outtakes.
Well, it's not. It's like all the footage. It's like it's all the shots that we see. It's just like like heads and tails of certain like an alternate take of the same setup, or like obviously the head and tail of a shot. Like you can see the actors kind of frozen there as if they're waiting someone to say action. In some of those moments. Genius, of course, not duping footage. As again, folks, this film does not have any opticals. It has no like transitions. The transitions are just spinning the camera around super fast for like a split second to show the passage of time.
Yeah, you're right.
And the titles are written on a wooden fence, though very fitting.
Yeah, right.
Very fitting. Again.
Oh, we love that, right, Casey?
Of course. But also that reminds me that it's a very good idea then that Avram came from a strong editing background, because he could just edit everything in camera as the cinematographer and camera operator. So he was shooting this thinking like an editor. So that's a very smart move on Davison's part. He's like, you know what? This guy knows what he's doing. Okay. And he'll make sure that this works out much easier than the whoever and whatever the fuck happened with Moonshiner's Woman.
Moonshiner's Woman was all Donn and Lee Jones. They were like the two guys making that movie. Right. Can you imagine if they shot this? Like just...
Moonshiner's Woman, you can clearly see the editing. Donn probably in the editing booth, just like with scraps all over him, pulling this from here and this from here.
Right.
This film doesn't feel like that. This film has it's structured. Like they kind of knew where they were going. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that thing was edited with a chainsaw, I'd swear. So of course he pulls out all the stops as a spook showman does, as multiple one-sheet styles. For part of its opening, he had women in little Daisy May Southern Belle gal type outfits, wielding moonshine jugs, walking around the streets of Atlanta, handing out heralds. Which the heralds are fantastic, because it is all just like, old man marries this child bride at 14, blah, 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 blah. It still happens to this day, folks.
They don't mention her age in the movie, do they?
Oh, no, but the campaign was really all, what was all that?
I did want to note that unlike Harry Novak, the R rating on this film is official. It is an official MPAA rating submitted by Craddock Films. So Gordon Craddock of Craddock I think he was the main distributor for this. He actually submitted this to the MPAA and paid, and they rated it officially R. I just checked the MPAA website. Happy to confirm.
Okay.
Official R rating.
That R rating onto every other campaign.
I'm sure. Yep. That's the Novak special.
Yeah. Exactly. Yep. So it plays for 2 years as Shantytown Honeymoon. And then once he's done covering all his territories under that title, he officially, because I think based on so he retitles it Hillbilly Hooker. Crazy. Was she too old at 14? The unpublishable novel is now a movie.
The unpublishable novel is now a movie.
The Hillbilly Hooker.
The Hillbilly Hooker. Was she too old at 14?
The Hillbilly Hooker.
She may have been poor white trash, but fancy was her name.
The Hillbilly Hooker is coming for you.
Hillbilly Hooker, in color. Admission restricted.
Come on out and see me sometime.
So they're referencing back to this novel that doesn't exist, or are they referencing the Happy Hooker novel? That's what I was confused about.
I'm sure it's a reference to the Happy Hooker. And it's also because it's after Happy Hooker, and also 74 is the year that the Happy Hooker came out. The one with Lynn Redgrave. Yeah. Also, Hillbilly Hooker was after, and it wasn't distributed through him. Hillbilly Hooker was distributed through Film Ventures, who he was working with at the time. So it's like he brought this movie over to his new employer, and they're the ones who put that out.
Yeah.
But then they didn't have the exclusive rights to it, because then he reissued it which was not Film Ventures, right?
Yeah. So what happened is, I'm pretty sure this is a retitle that only this film got. There's a trailer, which is just Shantytown Honeymoon footage. The press book is just people from Shantytown. in it. And also, I mean, at least at one point, it was, I think, Lion Dog, because it's X'd out, but Lion Dog's in the press book.
Oh, interesting.
As well.
And I wonder what year that is then. Because I
started in 74. Because I
think I have a box office. I need to find it now that assigns FBI to Hillbilly Hooker, and I don't know. But you know what? That could be a later thing. It could be. Yeah, it's possible. That's confusing.
And also, why else? I mean, hey, if these were already all printed up, normally they just put a sticker over if there's a new company anyway.
That is true.
Know?
That is true.
Like I say, that one's X'd out. So,
and my little whorehouse press book has no distributor.
Oh yeah, it has the same as Moonshiner's Woman Worldwide Films, the very innocuous.
Oh, that's right. It does say Worldwide Films.
Yeah, it has the very innocuous Worldwide Films.
Interesting.
So it plays for around 2 more years as Hillbilly Hooker. Plays a lot again. Unlike Shantytown, they didn't take out a zillion ads saying how much it did. So I don't even have any hyperbolic numbers for that one. But then into the mid to late 70s is when Donn brought back his good old con, where he would create a stock campaign of a fictitious film and then splice the title of that fictitious film onto films of the same genre. So for teen sex comedies, he had Animal High, which I guess he'd put into like a crown print or something like that. The trailer is apparently just him with like 2 sexy gals and going like, Animal High, it's this, it's that, blah, 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 blah. It's funny.
I'm impressed that he spent any money on that, because he had to spend money to make that trailer. you know?
Right? Shocking. I know.
Shocking.
I know. So for Southern films, we have Little Whorehouse on the Prairie, which likely, of course, because he'd have the most prints for Shantytown. Like, it probably played the most as Shantytown. But a newspaper pointed out that at least one of the prints was Hot Summer in Barefoot County.
Right.
And then
so there is a stolen movie.
Yeah, no. Yeah, so just take a print, splice in this title. If it's a exploitation film, call it Little Whorehouse.
That's so crazy.
And then I assume, but I don't have a press book or anything, Honey Britches was another one of these, because it has nothing to do with this film. Why does she sell love? Did you ever wonder what it would be like to try everything? And it's a little skimpy gal on a bike for that. And so those campaigns for this film were utilized. Honey Britches was the first one after Shantytown. I found that playing from 1978 to 1981. And Little Whorehouse on the Prairie popped up in 1980. I only found it for about a year. Probably played unadvertised, maybe a bit later. So this thing had a shelf life of about 10 years.
I can see
out on the market
how that happened. I mean, its color, it does feel in a way sort of timeless with the Southern angle, wouldn't you say? Like, you could
sort of, yeah,
you could play this throughout the 70s and people wouldn't really know its original date.
Backwoods, you know.
You'd be surprised at how certain hairstyles in the South stayed the same for decades. So you would see a woman like Pepper Thurston with giant hair in 1980. That would not be uncommon. Yeah.
But I can also just imagine just the teenage boys listening to the radio spot for Little Whorehouse on the Prairie. It's got jiggles and wiggles you've never seen. And then they go in and it's that, which only has the tiniest flash of nudity.
I would hope that those horny teens would be bringing dates to get active with in the back seat and just.
I hope they were not looking at the screen. I'm
hoping they weren't. But yeah, if it was some poor sucker who was like, you know what, I don't have a date, I just want to see this movie. It's like, oh, I've seen this twice under 2 different titles. He's this also not just the Orson Welles of the exploitation, the Sam Sherman of the South.
Yes.
Just retitle, redistribute, new ad campaign. He's just Sam Sherman, but with almost usually worse movies than the Al Adams and the
well, as far as we know, Sam Sherman didn't also steal prints and splice them on.
Sam Sherman's a little, rest in peace, Sam. But yeah, he was at least a little more above board. Right, exactly. Yeah.
Donn never made a teen sex comedy, so Animal High was all stolen.
Yeah, exactly. That's crazy.
Exactly. So I've always wondered if there's other fictitious films out there that we haven't just attributed to Donn yet from this era.
It's possible. But then I also wonder if, what if that's something I wish I'd asked Donn? What if he just was selling an ad campaign and it was no, because that wouldn't make sense. I was thinking, what if he was just selling an ad campaign to these theaters or to a local distributor, and they would just say they're showing this movie and then just show some print that they already had. So they're not spending any money on getting a print or anything like that. They're just paying for the campaign to make people think that it's new. So it's keeping them in business. But that seems so extra complicated than just sending a print that you already have of God knows what. Yeah, I don't know. Interesting.
I think he found a print. He found She-Freak. There was Depot somewhere that he was sneaking into the middle of the night, grabbing things.
Right. Over a decade later, it's still kicking around.
71, and then to 81, right? Yeah,
and that's when the theatrical kind of died out for Donn.
Mm-hmm.
The con was kind of up by that point,
or was it? Well, yeah.
Okay. Well, this is good. Well,
it was up for him, right? It was up to the next con artist in the video age, right?
Yeah. I'm just saying that that's when Donn's film career kind of just petered out.
Mm-hmm.
He left Film Ventures in '77.
Mm-hmm.
These little guys kind of his last gasp, and then.
Well, let me ask you. So Lisa was phone buddies with him. How was he doing financially? Was he doing all right? Do you know?
From what I know, I didn't ask her this, but other people have said that he was not doing the best financially.
Right.
Okay.
He might have been an alcoholic too.
He was a drinker.
By the time, Mike and Lisa found him, all he was really doing was sitting back with his birds and calling up his old cronies from the good old days.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
And stuff, living amongst the vestiges of his spook show. And theatrical era, very much. I think his last big sale was selling this film to Fred Olin Ray for $5,000. Yeah, Ray said he bought it for $5,000. So what happened was he saw one reel of this movie. He was shown one reel of a faded print and and he knew this was this film called Shantytown Honeymoon, and he bought it for $5,000. The rights, the negative, all that. He titles it Death Farm, and everyone is pretty much laughing him out of their offices. They cannot believe that he did this. Still can't believe that he did this. But it saved the negative from going. It kept it circulating. Donn must have been cackling after he signed that deal. One final sucker. So so no one's interested in this thing called Death Farm until one distributor goes, well, if you put footage of John Carradine or something, you just put something in it, I'll be willing to buy it. Just give us something that isn't just this. So he rents Don Carradine for a weekend and uses him throughout that weekend for multiple projects. Carradine shows up in a bunch of other Fred Olin Ray stuff, like Evil Spawn, Jacko. He rented Carradine for $2,500 for the whole week. So use him as much as he could.
Mm-hmm. I think he's in bushes just talking in half of these too. He's just he's not a character.
Yeah, it's horrible.
Usually.
It's really horrible. Yeah.
I think only in Evil Spawn he's in a spaceship talking to someone else, and it's somewhat relevant to the movie.
Right.
So Fred is looking at this and he goes, well, there's this preacher guy who pops up spouting crap. Why don't I just, kind of do that, but instead have John being the judge of hell reading off cue cards, which you can hear them swishing. If you listen really closely, you can hear the cue cards being changed, narrating this film. And then he manages to sell it to Troma. It ends up being called Demented Death Farm Massacre. This is all finished on video. And he sells it to Troma for, more than $5,000.
Mm-hmm.
I can tell you that much. And so its life extends on video, and it goes all over Germany, the Netherlands, the UK.
You can stream it on Troma now, right now.
Or Tubi. Yeah. Troma Now or Tubi.
Or Tubi, yep.
It's still kicking around because Fredel and Ray bought it, folks. And that's where we are with this movie.
Well, then how could something weird put it out?
They just put
illegally?
It out. All I'm saying is they just put it out.
And Troma didn't give a shit?
All I'm saying is Troma does own this movie.
Interesting.
They could pop up with paperwork from it. They have everything. Well, they did have the negative. I don't know if they still do.
I
that's
don't know.
Unfortunately gone.
I feel like they bought this version because by that chronology, he says Fred says Continental Video paid him $15K if he put John Carradine in it. So he put John Carradine in it. Continental Video got it. Could possible Continental sold it to Troma in just that version.
No, Casey, I had someone go at Troma, look at the negative.
Mm-hmm.
It was there.
Well, I mean, but it doesn't mean Fred sold it. Then Continental could have sold it to them.
Oh, yeah.
Is what I mean. Yeah. Because if Continental paid him that money, then Continental got it. That's
Continental. No, it was told that Continental said they would buy it, but I don't know if they actually ended up buying it. They're the one who said do something with it. They're the one who said
they didn't pay him the $15K.
Yeah, no. So they said we'll give you $15K if you do something.
Oh, so maybe he got more from Troma than once he did that. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Okay,
yes, yeah. That's what inspired him to add John Carradine to this and to re-edit it, and such.
So Troma had the negative to both Demented Death Farm Massacre and
Demented was finished on video.
Done on video, so they had the master tape.
The Shantytown, So Fred transferred the neg, but he still had it as Shantytown Honeymoon. So when he sold it wholly, he gave them everything for it.
Okay.
Yes.
That's too bad.
It saved it from being lost somewhere, but it is not well taken care of under their hands.
Well, you said you had someone look at the negative, so it is in an archive somewhere.
Right.
No, it was in Troma's basement.
Right.
No,
we know who that person. I'm sure we know who that person is because that person then made deals with Troma to do Blu-rays of their work. So yes, we know who it was.
So
yes,
you happened to look at the negative to see how it was doing, and you can't even make out the image on that damn thing.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's too bad.
Which really sucks because years before, so I knew they had the negative. So I'm like, okay, great, the negative's there. 2 reels of a hillbilly hooker print show up on eBay with fantastic color, great friggin' condition. Like, could have grabbed them, but I'm like, well, the negative exists. Like, there's no reason to own these reels because the negative is around. I don't want to just carry film around. So I passed up on it.
Mm-hmm.
Then a couple of years later, someone goes and takes a look and it's like, yeah, this is disintegrated. And that's the number one thing. That's the biggest thing I still kick myself to this day is not grabbing at least half the movie.
Yeah. Damn. How much were they selling for? Do you remember?
Under $100.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
See, that's a good reminder, though. That's a good reminder for me as well, because I always have that mindset, too, where it's like a print is just it's not always a last case scenario in terms of a lot of these movies that, if we want to get a good scan of them, we're always thinking, go to the negative, because of OCN and, that's like the gold standard. And sure, it is a lot of the times, but a lot of times it's not. When all we have left is like a faded, deteriorating negative, sometimes a print is better.
Yeah.
I'm just talking to myself here.
Well, also in cases like Amazing Transplant, the only way to get a complete version of that is to find a print.
From a print. Yeah.
So you want a print of that because then you have a full version of the movie. Yeah. Prints shouldn't be poo-pooed necessarily. Yeah, like people are like, well, it's just a print. What's the point? I can't project or anything like that. It's like, well, you just don't know. You don't know.
No,
I think it's always worth it, especially if it's something you like and the price is good. I mean, storage, the situation always sucks, but at least that way you can kind of take a look at it and you didn't spend that much money. But I get it because then you have to really pick and choose. It's tough. It's tough.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, I don't have good conditions to hold film elements. What am I doing?
I know.
Like,
I know.
what is,
Same. I don't have AC.
What am I exactly? I'm like, what am I going to do with this thing?
No, I know.
I gotta move mine to the basement.
The only other movie that I know that well, it's funny because a lot of that trauma stuff has come out on Blu-ray and they've been restoring it and stuff. One of the big ones they haven't done is Sweet Savior, and I'm terrified that that's the same situation. Is either they don't have a negative, or the negative is toast. Like that should have been out already. Like that's one of the big trauma ones that I'm shocked hasn't been reissued. But yeah.
Oh, Tally's in that. Yeah.
She is. She has really good stories about shooting that movie with Troy Donahue. And that the director walked off the set and Troy ended up having to direct half of it. And he was high off his ass. So that's why it's kind of messy in some of the places. Yeah. Weird movie. Yeah. I love it. Yeah. Anyway.
Oh yeah. You put in the doc if there's what the differences are. Death Farm folks, you should try and see the Honey Britches version. It's really rough, of course. Like it is. The print has seen how many projectors, but not a lot's missing from Death Farm. The judge, the preacher man is gone from it. He was kind of a fun addition. He's neither here nor there in the original movie.
Right.
There's a couple other things that have been snipped or things like that. My favorite line of Pepper's, "Boy, she must have wanted to get married awfully bad," was removed.
Oh man. Oh Lord. Okay.
She looks at Harlan. Oh God. Yeah, and some different music is added. When I was rewatching this last night, of course there is a double entendre yo-yo song over the credits of this movie.
The opening?
Yeah.
In which version?
Honey Britches.
Yeah, because when I rewatched it, I was like, okay, well, the first time I watched the Something Weird video version, Honey Britches, so I gotta at least watch the John Carradine Demented Death Farm, and that opening music that they spliced in sucks. It's terrible.
Yeah, and then through the woods, when they're walking through the woods, they put in that really awful suspense music.
Yeah.
And the end of the suspense scene is just Ashley Brooke putting clothes on the line.
I don't remember. I haven't watched that version in literally years. Yeah, I pretend it doesn't exist. Yeah.
What'd you say, Gentry?
I was saying that there's not enough hillbilly music in this movie for me. I kind of wanted a little bit more.
There's music for both credits, opening and ending, them walking through the
during
woods,
that chase sequence,
and the chase scene, and that's it. It's not a very music-heavy movie.
Yeah.
It just has those birds chirping constantly in the background when they're outside, and that's about it.
Yeah, the soundtrack doesn't have like a Common Law wife or Jenny wife child. Like it doesn't have that kind of soundtrack, which I kind of wish it did.
It doesn't have like a sweaty harmonica in the background when she's trying to like seduce Harlan and things like that.
So what's Casey's rating on this? What are you going to rate this as you rewatched it, Casey?
I don't know. We'll find out, won't we? Stay tuned to my letterbox.
All right. All right, so I put together a wide-ranging list of Southern fried sexploitation films, and let's talk about them. What's our favorite? We had a little bit of internal debate on what we define as a Southern sexploitation film. So I'll let you guys just be your own judge and jury for how you want to define these terms. But I know, Casey, you're saying like anything Western flavored is kind of out for you,
which correct. I agree with now.
Yeah, yes. But we're talking like Common Law wife is 61, kind of kicks off this genre a bit, right? Is there anything else you can think of that's earlier than Common Law wife that would fit this bill? Not really.
Girl with an Itch is 58.
Oh yeah, Girl with an Itch. I'll start with favorites. I'm looking at my list here. Well, you know how much we like the Buckaloos, so I'm not going to mention any Buckaloos. But, I mentioned earlier the great music that's in Jenny Wifechild, and that has a really great release from Film Masters that people should pick up. So I'm going to give a shout out to Jenny Wifechild, despite the problematic title that might scare people away.
Yeah, no, it has nothing to do with it, really.
No.
Age and that.
Well, the original title was Owl Pecking Paw's Revenge. And that's the soundtrack LP is under that title.
Yeah, it is. Yep.
That LP is great. Yeah.
Yep. So Jenny Wifechild would be my pick if I'm like making a suggestion for somebody to check out a film. Casey, what about you?
The second half of that double feature is Common Law Wife, and I would choose Common Law Wife.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Film Masters, they did a really good release of that with, I'm trying to remember I think there was commentaries on there as well, wasn't there?
I think so. And a friend of mine worked for them and keeps suggesting that I reach out to see if they're looking for people to do supplements. I just never have.
Actually, there's an audio commentary by Larry Buchanan, director of Swamp Rose. Yep.
That's from the DVD.
Yep. So it's
ported over from the DVD. Yeah. That's not a bad commentary actually, because he points out the new footage versus the footage that was shot under Swamp Rose and then the added footage. But unfortunately, he does not remember the name of the actress that replaces Lacey Kelly.
Yeah, I remember.
Because there's two women playing that same part, and he did not remember the name of the second the second actress. So she's still kind of yes, her. Yeah. So still don't know who she is. I know she's fantastic. I love both of them. But that one is really good. That was a good double feature. It's the exact same double feature that it came out on DVD. And that was one of their best DVD double features too. So I like that they just restored that. I don't know if they included, there's missing footage from their transfer that's present in the Sinister Cinema print. So I don't know if they fixed that for the Film Masters. I'll have to research that.
Oh yeah, there's a really good documentary on that. I remembered that exploitation doc from Ballyhoo, that production company.
Oh, Daniel Griffith.
I think it's
okay.
Yep, I think it's like pretty much a full length documentary.
Yeah, that sounds like him.
You'll get tons more recommendations for exploitation pictures, and you get kind of a backstory. Yeah, they go all the way back to the Child Bride, early 30s stuff. So,
Tobacco Road.
Well, give us an original, Alex. Pick. You can't copy mine.
Damn it. Yeah, but folks, get that release. Just adding on to that, get that release. My pick out of this list has got to be Scum of the Earth.
Well, I was going to say, does that even fit the bill? I don't know.
Why is it in here? Okay.
I just threw it in here. I know.
No, I think it does. For my criteria, it does. I think it's
really sleazy.
It's very sleazy.
It's incredibly sleazy. It's pretty much if Andy Milligan wrote a Southern sexploitation horror film. It's kind of like kind of the same thing as like Seeds. In that a weird pseudo-incestuous family, I then start getting picked off by a killer who is a... Oh, wait, I'm not going to spoil it. But that is Brown Rig's absolute best. It's beautiful. Yeah. It's so well shot.
Yeah, and
so
where the hell is it? Grindhouse releasing? What's going on?
Grindhouse announced it a quarter of a century ago.
So a restoration screening played up here. So mad I couldn't go to it. So what you doing sitting on that? You cleaned it up.
I don't know.
As much as you could. What's happening?
They announced these special features and stuff, and
Did they?
They announced
ages
stuff,
ago.
Yeah.
Like half a century ago.
Virtually everyone they've interviewed is dead now because they did the extras that long ago. That reminds me, Dave Sulkin was writing a Brown Rig book that I decided not to continue with my idea for a Brown Rig book because he essentially said, I talk to people that will never talk to you. So it's not worth you doing a book. So I didn't do my book. And now we don't have a Brown Rig book, David. So where's the Brown Rig book, David? And also, David, you have my Don't Look in the Basement TV spot I gave you for this release 25 years ago. He still has that TV spot.
Mm-hmm.
I've been waiting for that release for 25 years. They announced that literally a quarter of a century ago.
If you want to know how long ago they announced this, they announced it back when they were still doing DVD Blu-ray combos.
No, they announced this when they were doing DVDs only.
Oh, really?
This was like 2008,
They announced this after they put out Cannibal Ferox on DVD the first time.
Yeah,
this was announced. Yes, this has been announced since 2001.
Oh shit!
Yes, yeah, you're right.
This has been announced
special
that
edition
long ago.
DVD release. Yeah, there's even a sliver in this announcement where it just says DVD. It doesn't say Blu-ray DVD.
So they had that. I guess sounds like they had that release prepared for the DVD release, and they just copy pasted.
Yeah,
didn't add Blu-ray. That should tell you something. Yeah, that is a sore spot for me because I've loved this movie for ages and ages,
and it would do so well.
One thing I will say in defense, I mean, there's no excuse now because they apparently restored it. Elements have been a really bad problem with that movie.
Oh, I'm sure.
So I can also see. I mean, not so long. I know exactly, but I can also see wanting to wait a while to see, but also don't announce it to see if something else pops up.
But they already did the restoration.
Well, now they have. That was like a year ago when that screened.
Okay.
Right. Yeah, because I don't know when they completed that, to be completely honest. Yeah. But they've had those extras ready to go, locked and loaded. I think it was just
guys. I think there's the VHS rip of it on YouTube or something. Everyone go watch. Don't wait, because I want you all to start screaming about this movie because it's really good. Brownrick's best. So don't wait, because you we need you to help get Grindhouse to get on this already.
I know.
I do have to mention Shanty Tramp.
Oh, yes,
as well,
absolutely.
Because Shanty Tramp is perfection. Shanty Tramp is nasty, backwoods, perfection. We cannot end this episode without mentioning that people should see Shanty Tramp.
Definitely. Love Shanty Tramp. Yeah. The best thing K. Gordon Murray was ever involved with.
Yes.
Too. His originals aren't that great. That's perfect. That's a perfect movie.
With the incredible Eleanor Vale doing a Shanty Tramp turn, a very different character from The Pill.
And Taste of Blood, very different.
Yeah, and Taste of Blood.
And met her husband, who played her incestuous father in the movie. And then they later got married and moved to Chicago.
We talked about it all on The Pill commentary. Go listen to it.
We did.
Go buy it, folks. Come on.
I'm gonna rewatch that because that movie is good. Shanty Tramp.
Shanty Tramp?
It's been way
too long. Yeah.
Talking about restorations, I would love a Shanty Tramp restoration, please.
Well, it's up on a certain guy's website.
Oh yeah.
Oh God, I keep forgetting that a certain person who has a shitty new movie out, a movie that's getting raked over the coals and hated by everybody. So now I'm terrified he's going to run back to sexploitation and act a fool.
Even though his movie is named after a sexploitation movie.
Yes, without credit. He's not going to reference it in any of his interviews, I'm sure.
Yeah,
and unfortunately, the director's long dead, crazy. So he can't say anything about it.
He did a little thing for Letterboxd, like a pick your 4 favorite movies thing, a little clip, and that would have been a great opportunity. Why don't you reference the movie that your new movie is named after? But no,
because why would he do that, Gentry? Why would he reference? Did he name any of the movies that he owns and holds under lock and key now in that 4?
Yeah, no.
Gonna take that as a no.
No, he doesn't.
He didn't say Over's House of Shame.
Because of course I watched it to see if he
Satan in High
anything
Heels.
Interesting.
Right. Didn't say House on Bear Mountain.
He mentions I don't remember what they were. It was like Charlie Chaplin. It was
Get Out. Okay.
No Hot Thrills, Warm Chills. No. When Rita Alexander just passed away, R.I.P. Queen. Yeah. That's too bad. Anyway.
The Lord giveth, and the Lord taketh away.
Johnny, let me play with your yo-yo. I'd like to hold it for a while if you don't mind. Oh, I'll promise a dog if you will marry me. I'll even rock the cradle too. But if you ever go and break my heart, well, I'll cut your string in two. I'll work it on now, Johnny, and we'll win all the prizes. Take it round. yo-yo-yo's never really knocked me out till Johnny came into this town. And when he took his shiny yo-yo out, my heart went up and down and all around. Well, work it on now, Johnny, and we'll win all the prizes. Take it round the world, honey. Let's make it sing, yeah, work it on now, Johnny, and we'll win all the prizes. Take it round the world, honey. Let's make it sing. Johnny, let me play with your yo-yo. I'd like to hold it for a while if you don't mind. I promise I'll take care of your yo-yo. I'll make it mine. Oh, yeah.
Thank you for listening. To hear more shows from the Someone's Favorite Productions podcast network, please select the link in the description.
Ever have that one movie everyone assumes you've seen, but you haven't? You know the one, the classic, the cult favorite, the how have you not seen that movie? Welcome to the Shameless Picture Show. Twice a month, I sit down with a guest who finally crossed one of those films off our shame lists. Sometimes it's their first watch, and sometimes it's mine. But sometimes it's new for both of us. Then we dive in, the characters, the craft, the cultural impact, and whether it actually lives up to the hype. From legendary classics to cult oddities to the films we somehow missed along the way, join us as we turn movie shame into movie discussion. This is the Shameless Picture Show.